Hey, Coach. First of all, we were talking with Chris about this before you came in. You guys are at 28 games right now. If you get them all played, does that prohibit you from going out and maybe inquiring about a couple of the games that William and Mary had to drop this morning?
Yeah, I mean it is what it is right now, Lane. So we're just gonna play it sort of by ear here each week, just because of cancellations and things out of our control. Is we'll use that term again, right? So probably the best way to answer that is we're gonna take it week by week as things go along.
What about this past weekend with everything that you had to jump through? What about this past weekend pleasantly surprised you, and how much now you got a little bit of intel about your own team in a game situation? How does that change the way you guys prepare and strategize going forward?
Well, yeah, I mean, some things will change. We have tape of us playing other people and playing against different styles, so that gives us, like you say, intel, but and live action, live competition against other people is going to allow us to tweak some things, to get better at certain things, and then to reinforce, keep doing what we're doing and get better at the things that are important to us. But like anything, each opponent, you reevaluate after every game and then try to get better for the next game, or from subbing patterns to things that we run to, certain matchups that we want to attack, and on the other end that we want to make sure we keep. I mean, 3 games in 3 days, we got a lot of time and a lot of tape to help our team get better. And yesterday we had a good film session because we had a lot of tape, and it was great to see some young guys make some right plays on both ends of the court. We didn't have that before. We just had that in sort of black versus gold in practice. Now we have it against other teams. So we'll use that, and we'll continue to make some adjustments to get better.
And guys, just a reminder, use the raise hand function or type in the chat, and I'll get to your questions as they come in. Next up would be Wes.
Here we go. Coach, a couple of the college coaches said back in September they got through the first game and they were just kind of relieved. They almost found themselves waking up the next morning, just exhaling, and then they all of a sudden quickly remembered, I got to do this every single week, and we've got to just get to Saturday every week. Was there a moment on the plane or when you got back or post-game where you exhaled and then quickly realized we just got through 3 games, we've got to do this each and every week?
It wasn't so much the games for me, Wes, as the testing. So as soon as we got into the hotel, we put our stuff in a room, our bags. We went right to a huge convention room with 2 laboratory trucks there and a bunch of people in their gowns and all that and their masks, and we got tested. Then we got back. Then we had to go to our rooms, and we had to wait about 90 minutes to get the test back. And so you're sitting there. We're here. We want to play. Oh, hold on for a second. And sitting in your room by yourself going, I don't know what's going to happen. That we did that 3 times, Chris. Yep, we did that 3 times. And then one time, somebody in our party had to go back and retest because it was just an inconclusive test. So there was another hour. That's the part that stinks and out of your control. And the players are texting, other coaches are texting each other going, Coach, you hear anything yet? Nope. So once we knew we were getting to a game, that's where the excitement, you crept in and guys were ready to compete. But there was, after 3 tests, you're just sitting there waiting. You don't know, it's out of your control. So that was probably the anticipation for me, the waiting for the results. And we'll have to do that 3 times every week and 4 games. And we go this week, up to Penn State, and we're going to have to test when we get off to playing there. And it's going to be the same thing all year long. And I just want these guys to play. They deserve to play. They've done it the right way, but it is what it is.
I talked to Key yesterday, and he said that at times this season there was it was emotionally overwhelming for the fear that they didn't know if they would have a season or when they would start a season. Could you just sense almost a boyhood-like joy in these guys that they were out there able to play?
Not just in the players, but in everybody, including the coaches. Me as the head coach, just the joy of that. No, we're going to play basketball. We're going to put on uniforms and compete. You know, you got to think of an 18 to 22-year-old. One of their goals is to be a Division I basketball player, and then they have the opportunity to do it, and then they get the opportunity, and they get so excited to put on a uniform, but they also know that could be taking care of them out of their control here with a pandemic. Nobody's experienced that for 100 years, right? So that's tough. That's tough on an 18 to 22-year-old. It's been tough on the coaching staff, but you know, we're the adults. We should be able to handle it and you know, show leadership to our guys. But to be at that age, I don't know if I would have handled it like some of our guys have, and you know, I commend them for that.
Thanks.
Wayne, next up.
Hey, I want to touch on something that you mentioned on Friday about the team sort of answering some questions in those 3 games last week. What do you feel were the biggest questions that were answered about the team last week, and what are maybe the biggest ones that you still want and need to answer as you move forward?
Well, you know, just the number one question was how are we going to play together against new competition, not black versus gold. You know, because no exhibition, no scrimmage, so how are we going to play together, especially if there was some adversity? And, you know, I thought for most of the 3 days, we handled that pretty well for a young team. There's some things we definitely got to get better at, but you know, that was one question. You know, we raised the bar, as I told our guys, we raised our standard over those 3 days of handling adversity in the way we can play in close games as well. The second one was, can we defend? Can we press and defend at a high level? Early in the year, not bad. You know, it definitely can get better. You know, we watched some tape to get better at it, but with a young team and trying to press and then sit down and guard, there was some good moments there. Offensively, you know, the biggest thing with a young team and guys playing new roles is not forcing it. I thought at times, you know, that was at times we forced it. I thought we took some tough shots. Maybe we had some turnovers that we wish we had back. But overall, against, you know, 3 quality opponents, we got some good opportunities, and I thought we shared the ball, and for the most part, we were trying to play the right way. We'll continue to get better with more experience. So, you know, defensively, and then offensively. And then, you know, I think overall, we got to rebound better. I think everybody, that's quite obvious. We got to rebound better. We got to play really good defense and then limit them to one and done way. And I think that's huge that way. And we have enough bodies. We have enough length and size and guys that can go get the basketball to do that at a higher level. And we're going to really emphasize that moving forward.
Then a second one on Ace. When did you realize in the offseason that he was ready to start right away? And what impressed you the most about what he showed in those 3 games last week?
Well, you know, we recruited him to say, can we get a freshman point guard that can come in and play right away for us and play quality minutes right away for us. And, you know, as a guy we targeted when we got here, we knew about him for a while. But as he continued to get better and better in high school, we know this is an impact player. But also, you know, he's a set you up, pass first point guard. You know, it's more of a little bit of a throwback. He can still get a shot, make a play. But he you know, he's a quarterback out there. He makes his teammates better, and he takes pride in that. So, you know, we saw that from day one. The one thing, you know, I just think he's very level-headed out there. He pulls guys in the huddles. He talks to the coaches. He owns a mistake and moves on. And for a young guy, for a freshman in his first 3 games, you know, he really passed the test that way. And he can really guard the ball and defend. And when you're a freshman point guard and you're level-headed and competitive, it gives you a great chance for success. And you saw that with him.
Mark Davis.
Hey, Coach. Wanted to ask you about the energy level to start the season. Obviously, those first couple games are like getting shot out of a cannon, so to speak. Do you think that just based on how last season ended and just kind of how the grind it's been for this season to even happen, do you think that energy level will kind of last a little bit longer than maybe a normal season, if that makes sense?
I hope so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing we talked about going out to South Dakota and, being the most enthusiastic and, bring the juice as we talked about it and be an awesome teammate. And, I think that really helped us. I think that helped us in the third game against Memphis in the third day with a young team. I told them if we're the most energetic team today, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. And I think that really helped us. And I'm really proud of the guys to bring that, bring the juice for that. Last year it's a disappointing ending in so many different reasons and ways. And, we're not going to make an excuse for it, but we're going to try to learn from it and continue to learn from it as a coaching staff and as a group. And, we have a lot of guys that didn't go through those experiences, but we do have some that returned and, we'll use that as all past experiences, positive and negative, and you use those to learn. If you don't use it to learn, you wasted them. So that's important to us.
And then you kind of along the same lines, you try to carry that energy to Penn State, another away game, a Big Ten team, another chance to get a pretty good win for you guys. What's kind of your message going into that game after coming off the three big games you had this past weekend?
Yeah, well, this game will be harder than the three we played. This is a true road game. Penn State had a great season last year. They returned a lot of those players that was a huge part of that success. They losing their coach, but keeping the rest of the staff there. They're going to play with an edge, and they're going to play with more of a an inward purpose. And I think that could be dangerous going to play a team like them early here. But we need to learn to play with a young team on the road to win games, and there's nothing better. We're going to Penn State, a Big Ten team, then we'll go to LSU, an SEC team, and play true road games. And that's how you get better. And everybody knows me, and we'll go play anybody, and let's go play good teams, and let's find a way to learn how to win on the road. And no matter what happens Wednesday, we got to improve from it and get better, because it's a long year with all the craziness. And that's the most important thing, is just keep getting better. We raised our standard in South Dakota and our level of play. Let's see if we can do it again.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Terrell Owens.
Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
All right, Terrell, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Congratulations on a successful weekend.
Thank you.
My question is this: now that you had a chance to kind of see how things are being in an empty arena, so we're going to be back here to Stu here soon, 250. But is there any type of strategy that you have to maybe try to bring some of that home court advantage back your way once you return to the Stu?
Well, when you're playing at home and you're in your, confines of your own arena, it's a confidence factor, but comfort, right? We're going to still use it, still the Stu, and we're still going to be in our black and gold. That's what I keep telling our guys. And, honestly, we talk about, because we don't have fans, you got to make your own noise and your own excitement. And it just starts with your talk, right? Just being an awesome teammate with great talk can inspire the guy to your left and your right. And, usually the teams that talk the most are the ones that have the most success. And so we got to do that at a higher level without the noise, right? And, with a young team, that's been a huge emphasis in preseason, has learned to become a great talker on the court, a great communicator. That brings juice. And, we use the term, if you're juiceless, you're useless with a young team. So bring the juice, and that starts with your talk. And you bring great talk to your team, that's going to inspire them and help them and make them, go harder. So it starts with us first. Now, it's still coming to the Stu, and the Stu is the Stu. I don't care if there's, it's awesome with Ram Nation behind us, but we're gonna take advantage of being at home. There's nothing like being at home and sleeping in your own bed the night before a game and going through your routine on your campus and getting in the gym, and playing with your teammates. So we'll be ready. We'll be ready to play at home. Our guys are excited to get a game under their belt in the stew.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Ben Malakoff.
Hey, Coach. So last week you tweeted about how Jimmy Martelly is a savage after he got you guys added to that tournament. How much do you think his job is changing during this time, and is this something that he's been prepared for?
Oh man, I mean, Jimmy's such a high level dude. You know what I mean? That's why I tweeted that, because I was just excited like the players were, because Jimmy got it done, right? Yeah, I mean, honestly, like how many hats he's wearing right now in this craziness, him and Mac and Ed and Noah, so many people are wearing so many different hats, and the communication that Jimmy and Mac have daily to just keep things moving along. I mean, those two guys mainly are the reason why we're where we're at, and why we're playing, and they've been unbelievable, and our appreciation out to them. For Jimmy in particular, man, it's one thing that helps Jimmy is he's so organized. I'm not going to say he's what is OCD, like, what I mean? But he's just so organized. So he keeps the players organized, the staff organized, and then here's the to-do list. Here's what we need to do. Here's what we knock out. And now he's a healthcare professional, an administrator, making sure the testing is in order, the results are with the right people, the files that he has to have to go on the road. I mean, it's crazy. But because, he's just a high level dude and he's so well organized. If you weren't an organized Dobo right now, you'd be putting your team in trouble. So we're fortunate there, without a doubt. He's, the other thing you got to understand, Jimmy's been a coach for a long time too. So he gets it. He's been around it. Of course, his father was an unbelievable coach at St. Joe's and assistant at Michigan. He's been around his whole life. So nothing gets Jimmy too high or too low. And that really helps nowadays. He and Mac have been unbelievable for us, keeping us moving along.
Michael Gray.
Yes. What's going on, Coach? Mike Gray, Sports Journey Media.
Right.
How you doing?
All right, man. How you?
I'm good, man. Talk to me about Bones Highlands' help defense. I wanted to know if that was a point of emphasis coming into this season. I see plenty of situations throughout, especially those 3 games, where he's coming off of his defender, he's helping, swiping when somebody's coming in the paint, and he's getting to those balls, and you're utilizing that length. Was that a point of emphasis coming into this year?
Absolutely. Big time. Number 1 on the list. Become a better defensive player. As you all know, and we all know, he's such a talented offensive player. He can make plays. He has just an innate ability to make plays and see the court. And, I really been on him. Our staff has really been on him with that innate IQ, right? Seeing things a step, 2 steps, sometimes 3 steps ahead of others. Why can't you have that on defense as well? And it starts with being in great position, being in perfect position, and being on edge. And then that innate ability helps you on defense. And he's getting better all the time. And I'm on him. I'm coaching him hard. I'll tell him when he's not playing defense hard enough or he's not doing it the right way, but he wants to be coached. And, because of his great length, he could be in great position and still get to shooters. You saw that out in South Dakota this past week. He defended some good players and took away their shot, but also helped. And then he had some rotations that were all right. Now he's figuring it out. And, I'm going to hold him to that standard he had this weekend. It's got to get better and better. And, Bones is such a talented player, make an impact on both sides of the ball. Why not? And I'm not sure he's always wanted to play the other end because he sure wants the ball. And that's fine. That's why we recruited him. But for us to be better, for him to be better, for him to have such a bright future ahead of him, become a better defensive player each week, and that's going to help all of us. And I'm really proud of him. And we're coaching him hard, and he's accepting that coaching. And I think you're seeing that.
Gotcha. After this tournament, those first 3 games, how vital was it to make sure that you create offense off misses with pace? Like, for example, continuously instead of passing the ball off a rebound, pushing the ball with pace to the 3-point line, forcing the defense to attack, and then making a play like that? How much of a point?
Yeah, well, that's number one. It's a fun way to play.
Yeah.
When I would want to play that way, and I don't want to walk the ball up the court. We get a defensive rebound or a steal. Let's make them pay. Let's attack. It's a fun way to play. And the other thing is, Bones, Ace, Trey, Vince, all these guys their whole life played in transition. You play all these AAU games. It's up and down. It's pace. That's what they naturally do. I don't want to take their natural instincts away from them. So you get a rebound, go with it. Have great spacing. Make plays for you and your teammates. You get a steal. We don't put it on our hip. We want to make you pay for turning the ball over. So go attack and make the right reads. And, I want to play in pace all the time. It's a fun way to play. Maybe some people feel it takes some coaching out of it, but it's not a coach's game. It's a player's game. And when you got Ace Baldwin, the way he plays on defense, let's reward him by going with it. When you get a steal or a great stop, and when Vince or Jameer take the ball off the rim and they push the ball with, at that size and make plays for themselves and their teammates, that's a weapon. Let's take advantage of that. So that's really important. We play at that pace every day. Everything we do is with pace, even transitioning from drill to drill with pace. And I still think we can play faster than we did out in South Dakota. And as we get more comfortable, hopefully we will.
Gotcha. Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Okay, we've got 3 more here in the queue, and then we'll wrap it up. Lane had a follow-up?
Yeah, Coach, I know why you played really deep with your bench out in South Dakota to get a look at as many guys as you can. Is it sustainable to play that deep further on into the season?
At times, I think we can. What I do like about it is it gives guys some valuable experience. So when they are called upon, they can't feel like, oh man, I don't know what to do. I haven't been out here. So I thought it really helped us the second and third day. On the second day, getting back in the game, and then the third game, I just think we had more juice for the whole game against Memphis. And I think guys play really hard because they know hey, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play here for a stretch. I'm going to play really hard and be really aggressive. And I think that, that helps you without a doubt. Remember, it was three games in 3 days, last minute trip and changes. So, we definitely wanted to go into it using our bench. And, I think it's an advantage without a doubt. There's sometimes you may shorten your bench depending on who we play and how we go about things. Or, at times on the third day, I thought Vince just was playing at such a really high level, and there was a bunch of timeouts, immediate timeouts, that he got some dead time rest. So Mikkel didn't maybe play as much to back Vince up that third day as maybe he will in the future. And Mikkel gave us great minutes on this trip for a freshman in his first, outing. So, there's going to be some adjustments there, but we definitely want to use that bench and that army that we have.
All right, Wayne Epps.
This is maybe kind of along the same lines, but what kept Brendan out on Friday, and just what are you kind of maybe seeing from the bigs overall? You got so many guys you can mix and match between Corey, Hassan, Mikkel, Levi, Brendan. So just what did you see from overall? Yeah.
Well, we just some matchups, and I think we had a good flow there of I thought Hassan gave us great minutes, and we just went with him a little bit longer at times. I thought Corey's defense on those guys, the way he guarded some switches and the way he guarded a 4-man out on the perimeter, just gave us, we had some options there, and we just sort of stayed with those guys in the flow. And that those are decisions you're going to make as a coaching staff to have success. And Brandon's gave us some good minutes the 2 games prior to that, and he's going to continue to get more experience, and we're that his ability in that body, we're going to need that throughout the year for sure. So got to be ready. As I tell our guys all the time, be ready. Because when we do call on you, don't be surprised, be ready. And I want our guys at the edge of their seats instead of sitting back in their seats so they can help us win.
Thank you.
All right, last one will be from Sean Robertson. Sean, take us away.
All right, Chris, you mentioned, Mike, you mentioned playing LSU and also Penn State coming up on Wednesday. Are these games against Power 5 schools, are they still as significant maybe as in years past because of the parity in college basketball?
Well, we feel that we're on the same level as those teams, right? Of who we are and how we do things. But the reality is they play their strength of schedule because of their conference games. They may play, a more of a, I'm not going to say a higher schedule because we play a pretty darn good schedule, but they're teams that if you do get a win or playing them, they help you in your net. And, that's just real talk. And so if you can win on the road against a Power 5 team, it's going to help you in the long run. And that's why you schedule them. So, we feel we belong with anybody and we play that way. We're always going to play with that chip on our shoulder, but it's not like we have 8 of them here in non-conference. So the ones you have, let's try to take advantage of them.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you.
You too. Good luck.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Coach.